Hi there everybody, it's Suzanne here from Hullahbaloo.com. I'm a Stampin' Up independent demonstrator based in West Yorkshire, so of course that makes me your favourite Yorkshire demo. Today's project is this one. Now this is a 3D box which hinges to open as a triangular angle, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm very pleased that I've been able to figure out how to do one of these. I saw inspiration on Pinterest, but it was a company that took the two triangular segments off. It didn't hinge, and this is what I came up with based upon that design. You can get this box from a single sheet of cardstock. This one was Cherry Cobbler. Today I am going to use a Misty Moonlight, and it features our stitched triangles and the colour family DSP. So we'll crack right on into it. The base colour cardstock to make that outer shell is 5 1/4 by 9 1/2. I'm going to grab the scoring tool, as we've got a few scores that we just need to pop into this first. So we'll score this on the long side first. This is the 9 1/2 inch side. We're going to score this at 1, at 4 1/4, 5 1/4, and at 8 1/2. We're then going to rotate that onto the short side, so the 5 1/4 side. We're going to score this at 1 and at 4 1/4. We've got one more set of score lines to pop in, but we don't need the tool for these, so we'll just pop that away. We need our steel ruler instead, and what we want to do is on the bottom edge here, you have 3 little squares. You've also got 3 little squares at the top. We want to mark one of the centre squares with a cross. We will be getting rid of that in a moment, but we need it for now just to know where we're going to put these final scores in. So you've got 2 inner big squares here. In the top outside corners, we want to diagonally score to the bottom inside that are joined to the crossed square, if that makes sense. I'll show you now. So from the top corner here to the corner that joins onto the crossed square, we need a diagonal line like so. We're going to do the same from the other side. So from that top corner down to the crossed bottom square, and again there, that's what we should have when we finish. It's good. We can now fold all our lines and give them a good crisp burnish. I've got the Stampin' Up bone folder here. You can purchase this from my online store along with everything that you see today, so the cardstock, all the tools I've used like my scoring tool, the snips, and all the other things that I will be decorating the box with. We're now going to remove the square that we said we didn't need to keep. So like so. Fold the other edges out of the way because we want to keep them for now. They will be going soon. Okay, and now we've got a bit more cutting. What we want to do now is free up these tabs. We have 2 more that we can get rid of. So we're going to get rid of the top corner on this side and the bottom corner on this side. Okay, and then we want to just cut up the edges of these ones to free them for tabs. So we'll do that now. So as I cut these ones off, I want to miter the rectangles that they are originally joined to. So we've got a bit of a mitered edge, and the same here. And then same in this top corner, we want to miter the edge as we cut off that square, like so. And then we have that so far. We want to keep this edge as square as possible, and I've just noticed my cut line there couldn't be more wonky if I tried. So we'll straighten that up. There we go. and then we want to free the tab in this corner, and then we just wedge those ever so slightly just to make sure that the tabs fit nicely on the box when we come to bring it together. So that's where we are now. We then want to make these two into tabs as well. So I'm just going to turn this round. We're going to cut up the side of this and keep our line straight. We're then going to wedge the tab like so. On this side, we're going to keep the line straight as we make the, and then we're going to do the same here. But this top edge here, because it's on the mitered side, we're also going to miter this edge to match its corresponding rectangles. And then this tab we're going to wedge the same as we have the others. This will all make sense soon, I promise. So if I show you the finished base template, we have something that looks like that. So we've got, on the right hand side, we've got the three long rectangles, but we've cut away the two corner squares and we've wedged the rectangles. In the middle, we've cut the bottom tab away completely. The top one we've wedged. And then on the left hand side, we've got our two rectangles, which we've kept as square as possible. And then two corner tabs where we've just mitered to turn them into tabs. We then need to grab our glue. We're just going to do the tabs first. So we pop a bit of, I'm using adhesive liquid glue because it's just a little easier to work with in this situation. And what we're going to do, in fact I've missed a step, what we want to do before we do that is cut up this diagonal line about 3/4 of the way. Don't do it fully. We want to do the same on the opposite side. Again, not fully. There, so then that will start to create those triangles that we need. With the edges that we've glued, and I've got probably a bit too much glue on that tab there, so take some of that off. We're going to bring these in as though we are creating a box. Just hold them for a second once we've moved them in to let the glue hold. And then we're going to do the same with this middle one. That's going to come onto the same piece of card that we've just done the top corner, like so. And then that gives you the top. Give that a bit more of a press. And then on the bottom corner, we're going to put that onto the bottom flap that we've got. Apologies, so onto the bottom flap. And then that gives you what is starting to look like the beginnings of a box. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly press those tabs just to make sure that that glue has firmly got hold. And I'll do the same on this bottom one here. Again, just making sure that glue's firmly got hold, which it has. There we go. And then what we can do with this section is we can now finish that line that we had started cutting right up into the corner there. And there we go. We've got the start of our hinge, which is lovely. Right, but what we need to do now is pop some glue on these three. Not too much, you just need enough that it'll grab. Like so. Finish this one. There we go. And then we need the bit that we've already made into the box. We need to slot the top in and under. Like so. Clear some of that glue as I bring it together. There we go. So that slots in like that. We then want to do the same with the side and the bottom. So just fold those in and make them meet up. When I can control the tab, make them meet up with this side too, getting them as lined up as possible, and then same there. And then I'm just going to pop my fingers inside and try and encourage them to stick to one another. There we go. And what you'll notice is we haven't finished the second of our score lines, the diagonal one, so we just need to finish that one, and we can now pop that right up to that top corner. Now the reason I did that is before they're all supported, this intersection is literally about 2 mils of card that you're relying on staying together, and it just doesn't want to sometimes. So rather than tempt fate, I thought I'd do it in this way. It's the best way and ensures that each time you're not accidentally tearing it. So I'm just popping my Tombow in there and using it to press down those edges so that we've got a nice tight glued edge. And as you'll see, that has now brought our hinge box together. I am using a crocodile. And I'm going to use the 3/8 of an inch side. I'm just going to set it to 1/4 of an inch to punch in, and then I'm going to, where the two hinges come together here, I'm going to pop a hole on this side and a hole on this side for our ribbon. So we just pop that there, eyeball that in the centre. So we've got one, and if I do this one this way, I can eyeball the centre a bit better. There we go, so eyeball that centre, and 2. So there we go, our box is ready for the ribbon. So I am going to tie it up in a moment, but first, just get that glue off. First we need to do the inside of the box. This box for me is going to house 3x3 mini cards, so I thought by just putting this little holder in there, when we unhinge it, they're not just going to fall straight out, and it will keep them secure. So we're going to pop that part in. Let's put my crocodile out of the way, and I've got a piece of card which I've already scored because I needed to check my measurements, but this is 2 inches by 8 3/4. And this is scored at 1 inch, 4 1/8, 5 1/8, and at 8 1/4. And this is just going to create a little band like that, which is going to sit in the bottom. So I'm just going to get my glue again. I'm going to pop a little bit just down this 1/2 inch line to start with. We're just going to fold that over and get that glued first. So give that a press, and then I want to hide the seam inside, but that's also going to be the part that sticks. So we're going to add a bit more glue. We're going to pop it on that 1 inch piece there, and then I know when this goes in the box, there's going to be a bit here which sits with the glue, which sits against the blue, sorry, not the glue. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue there so that we've got something else to anchor it to. So I've got to be careful popping this in now, but we'll pop that in there, press it down, and then I'm pressing the inner edge first. So it grabs that first. And then I'm going to lie it flat, and I'm just going to grab my bone folder and I'm just going to rub it on the bottom edge. Try not to pull it out of the box like I just did. And then I'm going to lay it on the other side and do the same, just to make sure that that glue has picked up. And just an extra little press of my fingers just to be sure. And there we go. That now hinges together and your cards can sit inside. So I've got some envelopes just to show you. I will be making the cards in a separate video, so watch out for my next video. There we go. And then they close like so. Beautiful. So we take those out for now. I'm going to close this box today with some twine. So I've got Baker's Twine Essentials pack. This is from the annual catalogue. You'll find it at the end with all the other ribbons. You get 5 colours, so black is one of them, which is what I'm using today. You also get white, very vanilla, that's like a grey granite, and this one is crumb cake. So it's the first time I've used the black. See if I can find the end for it. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to double this up and attempt to make a nice bow from it. So we'll see how this goes. So pop that through there, like so, and then pop it through the other side. Right, bring our box together. We'll tie this off into hopefully a nice bow. Right, so create my loop and go round. Trying so hard not to twist it as I do. And then just create that bit smaller. Right, and then we'll get these trimmed off. I'm going to keep them quite long because when you undo the box and you want to redo it, you want enough that you can still manage to do that without it being too tiny and too troublesome. So we've got that tied up like so. We can now decorate the front. So for the front, I have used the Colour Family Designer Series paper, and here I've got the Misty Moonlight one. And I've gone for the checks again, the same as I did with the red version. But what I have done is the front of this box, when I designed it, I didn't have the stitched triangles in mind, but I did find that they do fit perfectly. So if I bring the triangles in, so you get your right-handed triangles, your scaling type triangle, and then you've got what is good. It's just a basic. It's got equal angles. Is it an isosceles? I don't know. But anyway, the right angled triangle is the one that we want, and it's the second biggest. And we're just going to pop one in each corner. And I've got my mini cutting emboss to do this. I'm just going to make this paper a little narrower so we can do it. So put that up there. We need to run this through twice. So mini cutting emboss. And I've got my plates. So I've got my plate number 1, plate number 2. We're just going to pop our paper and our die in, like so. Pop the number 2 on the top and run that through. This mini is so light and it is literally so small, but does the same job as its larger counterparts. As you can see, there's my hand on it. It's tiny. And I put my die the wrong way because I'm clever like that. Let's try that again, shall we? Let's put the cut inside. Right, plate 1, plate 2. Cut inside down this time. Plate number 2. Let's put that through again. And then not wonder why it hasn't cut, because it has. Stop knocking everything over on my table. And then we get this. So we need one more of those, so I'll just get that cut. So back in with plate 1 and 2, and back in with my sheet of paper. I'm going to flip my triangle to get the most out of my sheet, and then we'll pop this through again. There we go. And then pop these sides up, and it just sits nicely on my table over there. We've got our second triangle. Let's move these out of the way for now. And here we go, our 2 triangles for the front. What I did on my red one here was then backed these onto black, just to give it a bit more of a pop off the card. So I'm just going to pop a bit of Tombow again, just because I've already got it on the table, on the reverse of these, and get them stuck. So I've got 2 pieces of black here. These are just scraps out of my scrap box that I've just measured against the die before pulling them together, just to make sure that they'd fit. I'm going to put them as close as I can. I want like a 1/16 gap around the sides. I could maybe get both on this. Yes, I can. So I didn't need my second scrap. So we'll stick that on there. And then all I did was come in with my scissors and trim around the edges. Like so. You could do this on your trimmer if you wanted to, if you perhaps aren't confident about your cutting. I wouldn't say I'm confident about mine, but here we are. So there's one, and then all I'm doing is, because the die is rounded off at the corner there, I'm just going to round my triangular edge off as well at both of the pointy corners. There we go, so there's one. And then same on this one. Just cut down there first to get the border. We'll move them bits out the way, and then round it off like so. And there we are. We've got our 2 pieces ready. So bring our box back in, and we can pop these onto the front there like so. So again, just a bit of Tombow on these. It allows you that wiggle room that sometimes you need just to get things placed where you want them. There we go, so we'll pop this one on the bottom, and then pop this one onto the top there. There we go. So now all we need to do is our little piece of stamping. So I have got a scrap piece of basic white, and I have got my Misty Moonlight ink. And the stamp set I'm using today is the Happiest of Birthdays cling stamp set. So this has got 4 stamps in it, much larger than on here, but I'm going to use this happy birthday piece, which is here. So get that onto a block, and I'm using a C block for this. I'm just going to try and line it up best I can. The good thing about this is I'm not stamping it straight onto the project, and I'm cutting round it, so if it's wonky, that's okay, because I can cut round it and make it not look wonky. So we'll pop that away now. And then all I'm doing with this, again, same as I did with the triangles, is just by eye. And again, you could use your trimmer for this, as it's a square, you'll get that much neater. It's a rectangle, sorry, not a square, but you'll still get that lovely straight edge with your trimmer. There we go. And then this one, you have to be careful where you pop your glue, as you only want it to be stuck to 1/2 of those triangles, like so. So I'm literally going to pop a bit in this bottom corner, wherever I've put it, here. And I'm just going to pop a little bit there, like so. And then if we line this up, give that a press a minute while it just grabs. And there we go. So now we'll be able to open that. I'm not opening that ribbon though. We'll be able to open that, and in the next video I will show you the matching card. So this is the matching cherry cobbler card that would then go in this one, and next time we'll do a matching Misty Moonlight card. So which one do you prefer? Cherry cobbler, Misty Moonlight? Don't forget, all the details to make this are across on my blog. If you are watching this on my blog, they're just beneath this video, and if you're watching on YouTube, if you click in the description bar, that will take you across to my blog. In the description bar of YouTube, you can also see all the products I've used here, so you can purchase the cardstock, the paper, the stamps, the ink, the tools, absolutely everything. I'll pop across over to hullahbaloo.com and click on the shop button at the top, which will take you in to the entire store so you can search for yourselves. We do have catalogues. I can get one of those sent out to you as well. If you would like one of those, you can either message me on here on my blog, email me, or find me over on Facebook, and if you type in Hullahbaloo, I will pop up in the search. And until the next video, when I'll make the matching cards, I'll see you then. Hope to speak to you soon. Bye bye.